Hello everybody and welcome to my introduction to trumpet basics. You're not going to be learning an in-depth way of playing the trumpet, you're just going to be learning about the various parts and mechanisms that go into playing it, a beginner's introduction. So first off, let's define the parts. Now most of these parts I will be getting into later, but a general overview of terminology is important. First off is the mouthpiece and the mouthpiece receiver. This is where you connect your mouthpiece up into the trumpet. Valves, one of the most complicated parts of the instrument besides playing it. We'll get into those later. The valve caps, how you unscrew the valves. Finger rings, these give more stability and the ability to move the valve slides that you can see there at the bottom. The bell, where the sound exits. The tuning slide, this is the slide that we move while we're tuning with the ensemble to become in tune with them. And the water key, where you empty out water or spit from your instrument. Mouthpieces. So the standard mouthpiece to start with for all beginners is a 7C. This is the one on the left. And the one on the right is a 3C. The difference between them being the depth of the indentation at the front of it. This is called the cup. A 7C has a deeper cup, while a 3C has a more shallower cup. You can transfer students over to a 3C once they hit about the high school level, and it increases their range a little bit in endurance, but potentially at the cost of sound quality. How to make a sound. So some people think that don't know much about brass instruments that by simply blowing into the horn you can create noise. You actually cannot. To create a sound on the trumpet you have to buzz or make a raspberry by vibrating your lips into the mouthpiece like this. And that creates the iconic trumpet sound. Alright, valves. On the left you'll see a keyed trumpet. This is very uncommon and you are unlikely to see it outside of a professional orchestra setting. The center picture is the standard trumpet valves. Now in the previous anatomy picture you saw that the valves were numbered 1, 2, and 3. The way we number these valves is the valve closest to the mouthpiece when you're holding it is first valve. The second one is second valve, and the one furthest is third valve. On the far right, you can see a fingering chart. I'm not expecting you to memorize this, but just keep in mind that each note generally has multiple fingerings, so this chart does not do that justice. The main tuning slide, as I mentioned earlier, is that big hoop on the right. This one is what we use to adjust before we play. Rarely while we are playing, but there are cases where you have to do that to make sure that you're in tune with the ensemble. The part of tubing on the left that has a little U and the part of tubing on the right that has a ring are the two slides that you use to adjust while playing the instrument. So the middle one, the tiny U, and the big main tuning slide on the right do not generally get adjusted while performing. However, the first valve slide, which is the one with the U, and the third valve slide, the one with the hoop, gets adjusted while playing specific notes to make sure that they are not too sharp. There are a lot of variants for a trumpet. On the top left you can see this man with the funny face is playing a keyed trumpet. The biggest picture is a B-flat trumpet, and then there's a huge variety of trumpets on the right hand side. There is a trumpet in the key of C, a trumpet in the key of D, and a trumpet in the key of A. You get a flugelhorn. The one with 4 valves, the smallest one, is a piccolo trumpet, and the long trumpet is actually a herald trumpet. That one is mainly used in fanfares. But most importantly, the standard key that most trumpets are in is B-flat concert, meaning when they play their C, they're actually playing a concert B-flat. This is the general range of each age group. Now these are general, rule of thumb. Not all middle schoolers can play an entire octave C to C, some can play lower, some can play higher. Not all high schoolers can hit a high C, and not all college students can hit an high E above the staff. The important thing to remember is that I wrote each of these in finale in the concert B-flat trumpet. So middle schoolers could play a little bit lower, a little bit higher, high schoolers could play a little bit lower, and college students could also play a little bit lower. Their max range might be smaller or larger. However, an important takeaway is that the lowest standard note that a trumpet can play is a low F sharp. Now, you can go lower than that doing something called pedal tones, but pedal tones is an extended technique and is generally not written for in the trumpet. So pedal tones are lower than standard notes, and the lowest standard note on the trumpet is a low F sharp. Now, after that gauntlet of quick information on how the trumpet works, please follow these instructions, go and take the quiz over what I talked about today. Thank you.